Good afternoon, all. I think all of you had your lunch, students. No, please don't sleep. This is not a boring class. This is a programming language class. It is very interesting class. See, in last class only I told in next class I want the same strength. See the strength only 26 students are there. They'll join.
Probably, ma'am.
Okay. Then another 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes, we'll wait. Students, as I told in the last class also, this subject is very interesting and very easy. Already in .NET, mainly we are working on OOPS concept. OOPS concept already you have studied in C++ and even in Java also you have studied the OOPS concept. What are the topics in OOPS concept? Class, objects, inheritance, polymorphism, abstract, interface. Yes. So that concept we are going to implement in .NET framework. In C#.NET, what we are doing, the OOPS concept we are applying in .NET framework. In last class, I explained, I told you, I gave the introduction, and I had shown you the terminal where in which we are going to execute the program, in which we are going to execute this .NET program. And anybody downloaded that software, Visual Studio 2010? Anybody faced any difficulty? I told no, in next class you have to tell me if you are facing any difficulty. Yes, Ajay, did you download? Ajay. You're there, Ajay? Am I audible to all of you? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ajay, download ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾಪಾ?
Yes, ma'am. ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
How many of you don't have that software? Because if possible, from Friday or from Monday, we'll start our lab. Students will start our lab. So I want all my students should have that software. If you are facing any difficulty, please tell me only. Okay. In last class, I had given you the instruction. I had given you the instruction about the subject, and we gone through the course outcome of this subject. Course outcome is nothing but once the student learn that particular subject, what the student is able to do. So that at the end of the semester, you have to answer me for all those COs. Okay. Now I'll begin with my syllabus. See, in this C#.NET or programming using C#.NET, we have 5 modules. The first module is getting started with .NET Framework 4.0 and C#. See, students, this .NET framework is very user-friendly. .NET framework is very user-friendly. It is a platform in which you can execute n number of programs, J#, C#, VB.NET, ASP.NET, and so on. Yes, using this platform, you can execute n number of or more than 40 programming languages you can execute. For example, J#, VB, C#, Visual C++. All these programming languages you can execute using this platform. So now in this first module, we are going to learn about the framework. What are the components of framework? What are the of framework? And what are the benefits of this framework? All this we are going to learn in this subject. So first, what is .NET? See, already you people have studied so many programming language. As in from the first class, I am telling this is based on the OOPS concept. Then why already, if it is a OOPS concept, already C++, Java we have studied. Then why this .NET? How this .NET is different from Java? Any answer? Anybody? How this .NET is different from Java? See, students, this .NET framework has built-in server. If you want to run any application, if you want to run any project means you have to create a front page, you have to create, or you have to design forms, you have to create a database, and you have to do the connectivity with the server. Correct? But in .NET framework, it has a built-in server. It has a built-in server, that is IIS server. IIS server. If you want, you can make a note of it. It has a built-in server, that's IIS server. So no need to install a different server for to execute programs or project in this .NET framework. This .NET framework is developed by Microsoft. This .NET framework is developed by Microsoft. This Microsoft .NET is a framework which provides a common platform to execute or run the application developed in various programming languages. Just now I told, using this framework, .NET framework platform, you can execute C# program, J# program, Visual C++, ASP.NET, VB.NET. So you can execute many programming languages. So that's here I have written, you can execute, you can develop and execute various programming language. The main intention was to bridge the gap in interoperability between various programming languages. What is interoperability? It allows you to switch to one programming language to another programming language. In this platform only, in Visual Studio .NET Framework, you can execute J#, you can execute C#, you can execute Visual Studio ASP.NET, and you can also execute VB.NET program. So next, a .NET framework is an essential component of Windows operating system. It is an essential component of Windows operating system, and it allows, sorry, I forgot to write and so on. I forgot to write in the second point, I forgot to write so on. I forgot to write. This .NET framework, it allows a programming languages such as C#. Hey, students, my voice is audible now? You are getting any disturbance? Because the other side, one more class is going on. You are getting any sound from there?
No, ma'am.
No. Yes, using this .NET framework, you can execute C#, J#, VB, Visual C++, ASP.NET, so on. You can, and so on. I mean, various programming language you can execute using this .NET framework. And this .NET framework has many components. This .NET framework has many components. The three main components are CLR, CLS. The three or important components are CLR, CLS, and CTS. CLR means Common Language Runtime. Common Language Runtime. CLS, Common Language Specification. Common Language Specification. Yes, you please make a note of it. Common Language Specification, and CTS is Common Type Specification. CTS is a Common Type Specification. See, students, in .NET Framework, we have many components. Out of those many, what are those components? We'll see in detail later. So out of those many components, we have three important components. Based on this only, our .NET Framework works. The three main components are CLR, CLS, and CTS. The .NET Framework is a bridge between, application which are created using C# and VB. It is a bridge between the application which we develop using C#, VB, or ASP.NET. And now we have a evolution of this .NET framework. Means how this .NET framework has evolved. In mid 90s, students, in mid 90s, which programming was so popular? Java programming language was very popular. Who has introduced this Java? Who developed this Java? Any answer? Sun Microsoft. Correct, no? Correct. Or am I wrong? Please respond. Sarina tappa heli.
Correct, ma'am.
Correct, huh? Okay. Sun Microsoft, they have developed in they have introduced this programming language, that is Java, in mid 90s. In mid 90s, they have developed this, and using Java programming language, we were developing the applications. Then in the year 2002, students, I told no, in all the classes we are going to do the assessment. You may get these questions in the next assessment. That's why I'm highlighting all these points. So if you want, you can make a note of all these points. So in the year 2002, J2EE has introduced. What is the full form of J2EE? Java 2 Enterprise Edition. So J2EE has introduced in the year 2002. And in the year 2002, February 10, Microsoft people, they have released this .NET Framework 1.0. In the year 2002, Microsoft people, they have released this .NET Framework 1.0 on February 10. Released along with the Visual Studio IDE. Along with the IDE, they have introduced this framework in the year 2002, February 10. Now, next, the new version or the updated version is released in the year 2005. In the year 2005, they have November 7th, they have released the next version. Again, they have released .NET Framework 3.5 in the year 2008. In the year 2008, they have released, and in the year 2008 April, they have introduced .NET Framework 4.0. Yes, students, in the year 2002, Microsoft people, they have released a .NET Framework 1.0. The next release was in the year 2005. That is .NET Framework 3.0. .NET Framework 3.0 in the year 2005. Next, then nobody asked me when they have released 2.0. You people are listening. Class. Then nobody asked me why they have not released 2.0. Huh? See, in next assessment, you may have these questions. You can make a note of it. In the year 2002, they have released the first framework, that is .NET Framework 1.0. Next, in the year 2003, they have released .NET Framework 2.0. Next, in the year 2005, they have released .NET Framework 3.0. Next, in the year 2008, they have released.
Ma'am, 2.0 release, ma'am, 2003, ma'am.
Yes, 2003. Next, in the year 2005, they have released .NET Framework 3.0.
No, ma'am. 3.0 2006, ma'am, release.
I'm telling about 2.0. 2.0
Okay.
in the year
2.05.
3. Next, 3.0 in the year 2006. See, 1 is in 2002, version 2 is in 2005, version 3 is in 2006. Version 3 is in
2006, ma'am. Correct.
2006.
6.
Version 3.5 in 2007.
Yes, ma'am.
And version 4 is in 2008. So this is how .NET Framework 2004, .NET Framework 4.0 has evolved. Next, we have the objective .NET Framework objective. See, .NET Framework is designed to fulfill the following objectives, means why the .NET Framework has introduced or why the .NET Framework has developed. It provides object-oriented programming environment. Yes, it provides object-oriented programming environment. It provides environment for developing various types of applications such as Windows-based application and web-based application. Yes, students, what is the difference between Windows-based application and web-based application? We have seen in the last, no? And this .NET Framework is developed to ensure the code-based .NET Framework can be integrated with any other code. So to ensure this .NET Framework can be integrated with any other code. So these three are the reason behind to develop this .NET Framework. So these are all the objectives of .NET Framework. So next we have benefits of .NET Framework. So what are the benefits? So consistent programming. What is consistent programming model? It provides a consistent object-oriented programming model across different languages. What is the meaning of consistent? See, when you prepare a document, we say you have to follow the consistency. So what is the meaning of that? The meaning is when you are preparing a 10-page of document, there you have to follow some of the rules. When you prepare a document, the rules may be the font size, font color, font family, the spacing, the bordering. Suppose in first page, if your font style is Times New Roman, and in the second page, if the font style is Calibri or Arial, then is it a good way of preparing a document? No. So that's why we tell that when you prepare a document, you have to follow the consistency. So consistency means if you're for bullets, assume that in your document you have some bulleting points. You have to follow the same style in all the 10 pages. If you are creating a document of 10 pages, then you have to follow. See here, you can observe this PPT. See, for this bullets, I have given this filled circle. For first point, if I give filled circle, and for second point, if I give star, and for third point, if I give a hollow circle, for next, if I give some underline or some hyphen, or for this some asterisk symbol, if I give, then it won't look good. The PPT shows it has not followed the consistency. So similarly, in this programming language, in this .NET Framework, as we all know that we are using many programming languages, all have a same set of rules. All have a same set of rules. For one programming language, one rule, and the other programming language, different rule. No, it is not like that. So here we are following the consistency programming model. And cross-platform support. Specify that any window platform that supports CLR can execute .NET application. That is, .NET application enables interpretability between multiple window operating system. See, as I told, this programming language, this one example, if you execute a .NET program in my laptop, and the same program if you execute in other different OS, with different OS, it will not create any problem. But some programming language, if you execute a program in Windows 8, if the same program if you execute in Windows 7, it will create a problem. But using this .NET framework, it will not create any problem. It allows for cross-platform support. And language interpretability enables code written in different languages to interact with each other. See, as I told, you can write program in VB.NET, you can write program in C#, Visual C++, you can write program in JHash, C#, so different programming languages it supports. And automatic memory management, automatic management of resources. When I say management of resources, means it is mainly related with the memory. So it allows automatic memory management of resources. Means it specifies that in .NET you do not need to manually free the application resources, files, memories, network, and database connectivity. The meaning of this is, suppose if you are executing a program, once the execution of the program is done, the memory will be freezed. The memory will, once you complete the execution, that memory allocation will be deleted. Means that it will not consume that space. It will be deallocated. It will be deallocated automatically. How in Java, why we use constructor? To create an object, we use constructor, correct? No? Yes, why we use constructor? Anybody?
To initialize them.
To initialize, we use constructor. Why we use destructor? To deallocate that initialization, we use destructor. So similarly, in .NET framework, no need to use a destructor to deallocate the memory. Once you run the program, then the memory will be allocated. Correct, no? Once you execute the program, the memory will be allocated. Once the execution completes, the memory will be deallocated automatically. So this is the reason why we call as a automatic management of resources. This .NET framework allows automatic management of resources. Ease of deployment or ease of development. Specify that .NET framework install application or component that do not affect the existing application. See, in your laptop, if you install Spider, anybody working on Spider? Or if you install any other programming, any other software, then some software, I'm not talking about all the software, some software, it will not allow other software to work. It will not allow other software to run the programs or run the application. But this .NET framework, if you install in your laptop, it will not create any problem to other existing softwares or to any other existing applications. Understood? Yes, students, understood the benefits of .NET framework? This is very important. The benefits of .NET framework is consistent programming model, cross-platform support, language interpretability, automatic management of resources, ease of development. These are all the benefits of .NET framework. Understood? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Next we have .NET Framework architecture. Yes. If you search in the internet, this is the .NET Framework you will get. I have taken here. I'll show both architectures, and is it clear? Is this diagram is clear? Are you able to see this diagram, all of you?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Is it clear? This the previous diagram and this diagram both are same. In the website, if you search, if you Google for .NET Framework architecture, you will not get this diagram. This diagram is given in the book. But this diagram, see, I'll explain how both are same. First, I'll explain whatever they have given in the book. See, what I told is, using .NET Framework, you can execute console application, and you can also develop a application, that is Windows application and web application. When you say application means, or when you say project means, it has database and server and the GUI. Correct, no? Yes, students? When you say project, the project contains database, the project contains GUI or the forms, and the project contains connectivity, and the project contains server. Correct, no? So here in .NET Framework, see this where I am pointing. The first point is user interface. Can you see user interface?
Yep.
User interface. See, what is user interface means? First we'll understand what is an interface. A interface is nothing but it is a medium between. It is a communication medium between system and the user. It is a communication medium between system and the user. When you develop an application using .NET Framework, first you will design an interface. So how you can design an interface? Using WinForms. WinForm is nothing but Windows Forms, and using ASP.NET. Using Windows Presentation Foundation, using all this, we can develop a user interface. And next we have services. What type of services the .NET Framework is going to provide? See, what in this framework, what we learn is, using this .NET Framework, what are the benefits we are going to get, or what are the actions we are going to perform. We can design an interface. And what this .NET Framework provides, it provides different types of services. That is velocity. That is data services. Data service is nothing but, what is data services? What is data services? How we do data services? When you execute query, when you type some query, whatever the result we are going to get from that is nothing but some service only. No, some question you are asking to the database, and for that question it is answering. Correct? And Windows Communication Foundation. What is communication? What is communication? See, now I am communicating with my students through this laptop. Yes, this is this laptop is a communication medium between me and my students. Similarly, in .NET Framework also, we have a communication medium. Through that, we can develop the application. And velocity. What is the velocity? Physics definition. Velocity is nothing but speed. Correct, no? Answer. Velocity means what? Correct, huh? I forgot physics. Is it correct? Respond. Okay, if you next, Windows workflow foundation. Workflow foundation is nothing but how the work is carried out. When you in the .NET framework, as I told, there we can execute different programming languages. All that will be when you run a program. When you run a program based on the algorithm, the server may use round robin algorithm or first come first serve algorithm. So based on that, it allows that to execute the program. So that's why here we call Windows workflow foundation. Workflow means how the work is going to flow, how the work is going to execute. The server may use round robin algorithm to execute a program, or it may use a first come first serve algorithm. So based on the situation or scenario, it will use. Next we have data access. You can see last one. Yes, student, you can see the last one, data access. See, please respond. If you don't respond, then I'll not come to know whether you are understanding or not. At least the screen is visible. Respond. Okay. See, when I present the screen, I'll not come to know what message you are typing in the chat box. When I come to Google Meet only then I'll come to know your whatever the messages you are sending. When I present, then I'll not come to know anything. So this next we have the data access. Using ADO.NET, we can access the data. Using SQL, using LINQ, you can access the data. And in the core part, we have parallel extension, managed extensibility, framework, LINQ, languages, dynamic language runtime, and base class library. All this comes in the core part of your .NET framework. So parallel extension, managed extensibility framework, LINQ, languages, dynamic language runtime, and base class library. This is a core part of the .NET framework. See below we have common language runtime. See, all this complete .NET framework is working on this common language runtime. That is nothing but CLR. In the component part, here we have seen the first point is the main important components of .NET framework is CLR, common language runtime. So this is the base. This CLR is a base for this .NET framework. Now coming to one more version of this .NET framework architecture. See here, to design an interface, we are using VB, we are using C++, we are using C#, we are using JavaScript, and so on languages, programming languages we are using. And here we have common language specification. So all these languages are the single platform is allowing to execute all this. Programming languages, and these are all the next we have. In the next step, we have ASP.NET, Windows Form, and ADO.NET. ASP.NET and Windows Form is used to create or to design a interface. To design an interface we use, and this ASP.NET is used to run the application. It is used to run web-based application, and Windows Form is used to execute a standalone application or Windows application. And this ADO.NET is mainly deals with the database, and next we have a base class library, common language. See, after base class library, we have this common language runtime. In this also we have a common language runtime, and the last one is a operating system. See, don't get confused, student. For your test, for your exam, you have to read this diagram only. It's getting, that's why if you sometimes even after explaining, even after giving the PPT, even after giving the notes, some students they refer to internet. So if you answer this for the .NET framework, if you write this answer, then you will not get marks even for your external exam. For .NET framework architecture, you have to answer this. You have to draw this diagram. This diagram has a complete information about the .NET framework. Understood? Yes, understood, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next we have a components of .NET framework. The component of .NET framework we'll see one by one. Now this is a common language specification. In short, we call as a CLS. Common language specification. In short, we call as a CLS. It contains guidelines. This CLS contains guidelines that language should follow so that they can communicate with other .NET language. So responsible for type matching. It also responsible for type matching, and the .NET base class library, a consistent object-oriented library of pre-packed functionality and application. The common language runtime, a language neutral development and execution development that provides common runtime for a application execution. So first we'll see the common language specification. Students, so as I told, in .NET framework we have many components. So out of those many components, we have three important components, that is CLR, CLS and CTS. For now, here we are going to learn about common language specification. One second, students. Students, this components we'll see in the next class. This components we'll see in the next class. So, do you have any doubts? Do you have any doubts in this? In .NET, what is .NET framework? About in the introduction, the evaluation in the .NET framework objective, benefits of .NET framework, and the .NET Framework architecture. See, students, .NET Framework architecture is very important. This .NET Framework architecture is very important for your internals and for your external exam also. If you have any doubts, you can ask now only. See, this .NET Framework is divided into 3 components or 3 parts: user interface, services, and data access. User interface, services, and data access. Next, see, for all this, the base is this CLR. The base is CLR. On top of the base, we have a core. In core, we have a different type of languages, base class library, different types of languages, base class library, and managed code, parallel extension, dynamic language, runtime, and on top of this, we have 3 portions or 3 parts. That is, the 3 parts are interface, services, and the data access. So these 3 facilities we are going to get using this .NET framework. Students, understood? Any doubt? Any doubt?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
So components in detail we'll see in the next class. Now I'll take attendance.
Yeah.